welcome to the Footy Show, and it's getting really, really hotted up now as we get closer and closer to the finals, and boy, are we looking forward to that. North Geelong Magpies just hanging on to 5th position with the final 5 still not quite settled. Tommy Tigers breathing down their neck, trying to get that very coveted 5th spot with a couple more rounds to go. And speaking of the North Geelong Magpies, they thankfully defeated Inverleigh on Saturday, with Toddy Elsey back in the goal kicking again, and Paul Brigette, or Froggy as we know him as, he booted 3. He's on 93 now with 7 more to go and 2 more rounds left, so good on you, Froggy. Let's hope you can do it. Tommy Tigers out of the Thunderdome, too good for Anarchy, with Salter Demakia. I'll get that name right again. He kicked 12 last week, folks, and 8 goals again on Saturday. A fantastic effort indeed. Werribee Centrals and East Geelong, the match of the day. I'll come back to that one. Winchelsea Blues, too good for Geelong West, with Sprung a Leak getting 3 goals. Bannockburn, too good for Corio. Aaron Eddy, 9 goals. Brad Fatula, 8 goals. Talk about players being right in the goal kicking for this round of matches. And wait for this, folks. The Belpost Hill Panthers absolutely demolished the Belmont Lions, and Matthew Jovanovic kicked an astounding 20 goals for the Belpost Hill Panthers. And boy, that is a fantastic effort. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on, about what sort of records he might have kicked. But the 94.7 match of the day, as I said before, Werribee Centrals up at the Duck Pond, too good for East Geelong, with Adam Scrobelack and a losing side kicking 5 goals. A great effort indeed. Hello, I am Dick Philpott, and once again I've assembled one of the biggest names and brains in local football to procrastinate, adjudicate, and eradicate some of the big action on this afternoon. And yes, we are a bit short on the panel this morning. We have got a couple of guests in, and you'll see them very shortly. But first of all, the legend and the man from the Bannockburn Tigers, Dale Smith. Good morning, Dale.
Yeah, good morning, Dick. Looking forward to a good day of football. Let's hope some weather clears up fairly quickly for us. And as you said, some crucial footy in all rounds of football today. So it's a great lead up to the finals, as you said.
Absolutely fantastic. And of course, we still got a couple of guests. And of course, being the fact we've got an election coming up very shortly, we thought we'd ask them both to come in. We didn't want one without the other. As you can see, the one there with the little pink one, that's our good friend Tony Rabbit. Yeah, that's Tony Rabbit. And of course, the one next to him, of course, has to be the lovely Julia Duck. Say something, Julia. Look at that, folks. Unbelievable. She loves the television. Look at her go. So, Julia and Tony, thanks very much for coming in. Shut up, Julia, will you? What do we start at here, Smithy? Oh, she's right now. Fantastic. Now, before we go into any more silliness, a big interview from last week's game. We've got David Leach, the coach of the Werribee Centrals Footy Club, being interviewed by the man himself, Grubby Cations. Here they go.
With me yet this time, we have the coach of the Werribee Centrals Football Club, David Leach. And Leachy, after a really hard game last week and probably a bit of a belting last week, you really come back and hit your straps today, the boys.
Yeah, we definitely got touched up last week, Grubby, and they played really well. And today we had a few things to prove to ourselves and earn a bit of respect back. And I thought probably for 3.5 quarters we'd done that pretty well, and probably let ourselves down over the last 15 minutes. But good to get back on track.
Well, I think last week Belpost Hill might have took the foot off the pedal, but I think it looked like you blokes did the same today.
Yeah, last 15 minutes, mate. Like we prided ourselves on all day of being accountable all across the ground and play man-on-man footy, and then it just got to the 15-minute mark, and we took our foot off the gas, and you can see what can happen. You're not going to win a final if you can't play 4 quarters of footy. So that's entrenched in their minds now, I can tell you right now. So hopefully we can work on that during the week and go out to Inverleigh next week.
That'll be a pretty tough game out at Inverleigh next week, and you would probably hope that a few of your older players today who did shine out, like Calvert and Buck, you'd hope that they'd come up well and put in a good solid performance as with the rest of the side next week.
Yeah, Bucky's looking for an ice bath at the moment, but the old boys did a good job, mate. And I thought our contested ball was good, and we got that little handball out to our runners and that all day. Travel up the road to Inverleigh, never an easy game. It's great up there. They're great footy club, and we like going up there and having a beer after the game as well. But in saying that, they're a good football side, and they're very tough to beat at home. So we look forward to the challenge, and I'm sure with 2 games to go before the finals, we'll be on our game.
Well, yeah, it surely will be a harder game, but I thought a coach of your standing would have a few more smarts, because next week you may have a bit of a rest. You've took it upon yourself to take Gergic last week, and of course Big Scrobelack today. Do you think you'll get an easier job next week you can find for yourself, mate?
I wouldn't have thought so, mate. With a couple of injuries and with Simo, our full back out, and Shembry out as well, makes it a little bit tough. We are probably a little bit small down there at the moment, and going into a final series. So we do need to get a couple of blokes back, but I don't think there's any rest for the old body at the moment, mate. I think we'll travel up the road and go down there and play full back or centre half back again, and see if we can get through to the end of the year.
So hopefully one more win out at Inverleigh next week, and should probably sew up top spot, you would think.
Yeah, we had a bit of a meeting, team meeting during the week, and our goal was always to make top 3 and try to give ourselves a double chance. The boys reassessed and they've set themselves the goal to finish on top and give us our best chance of going into a final series. So, yeah, we think that we can go up the road and finish off with 2 strong wins, and then see if we can get ourselves the week off and regroup, get a couple of blokes back, and then have a crack.
Mate, thanks very much for your time. Great game from you today and from the boys. A good win. Go and finish your beer and have a shower and get into the rooms. Good on you, mate.
Thanks, Grubby. Cheers.
Fantastic interview there from Grubby Cations. My word, that man is extremely talented, Dale Young. Grubby, isn't he?
Yeah, look, he's good to have in the box on the weekend. He obviously knew all the Werribee players and the ins and outs of their side, but East Geelong were probably a little bit disappointing on the weekend and probably will need to do a fair bit of improving in the next couple of weeks. So.
Unbelievable. Geez, you've had to get rid of him now going into the finals.
Oh, like I say, he's got his tail up.
He loves to get into that commentary box. Him and Sid Jones and Ronnie Brain, the great call. They usually call the seconds grand final, which is usually very, very entertaining indeed. Now, folks, we have a great announcement this morning, and I've got to tell you this now, because one of the great characters around local footy, and we speak, of course, of Brian Cogsy Coghlan, who turned 50 the other day, which I still reckon he might have been pulling our leg, I reckon, Dale. I don't know if he's 50 or not.
Some of the people around the hotel reckon he was a bit more than 50, and never mind. We know that Cogsy wouldn't lie to us.
It was a bit like me. I turned 60. Everyone reckons I look terrible for 60, but great for 80. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I'm just hoping I can stay in this body till I'm 80, and I'll see how I go then. Well, he won an award, Dale. Do you want to know what it is?
You can tell me all about it, Dick.
Well, he won the FART award. I don't know if we're allowed to say that on television first thing in the morning. But you know what that spells, folks, FART. I'm not going to say it, but I'll tell you all about it in a minute. Raiders Bingo Centre. There it is on your screen. Raiders Bingo Centre. That's it. It's all official. Acknowledges the achievements of Brian Coghlan over the numerous years he has helped as a club worker for the Belmont Lions, as Cogsy would say, the Belmont Lions Football Club. Whilst others receive recognition in other ways, we felt that it was time that long-term volunteers receive some form of recognition as well. So, Cogs, congratulations on your milestone. This is going to floor you, Smithy. 500 appearances, not games, but appearances for the Belmont Lions Football Club, and finally achieving the status of FART. All right, so you know what that spells like, and becoming a member of the FART club. And I'll tell you what FART means, folks, before you think the big fella's being a bit silly. It's F for first class. Oh, that's my teeth, then. Always is for A for always. R for reliable. And T for team member. FART. What a great effort. I thought it was fantastic.
No, great award, and obviously Cogsy's he's used that as a bit of a, to get inside for a dating service as well, I think. So that's what his main thing was.
You ever won a FART award?
No.
Oh,
no, not that I'm going to claim any mention to. No, not at all.
Rosemary reckons I'm a life member. That's another story, folks. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about all the action coming up this afternoon, including Dale's Under 18 segment and more from Tony Rabbit and more from Julian Duck.